So, ladies and gentlemen, Usa Musume is a game that is taking the Western market by storm. Everyone's playing this game, everyone's talking about it, and the reason that I am doing a video on it is very simple. This has had a major impact on culture and conversation in the last couple days, and it's actually had an educational effect. It's unbelievable. People are actually talking about the history of the horses that these anime girls are named after. But the thing that impressed me the most is this game, which is what it is. And I got lambasted. You know, the weebs were not happy with my last video on this. Even though I was praising the game, I did make a tactical mistake. That tactical mistake was I was talking about Uma Musume, but I was thinking of Nikke for a very short part of that video. I was talking about it being a Gunner game. I was on Twitter, and under Uma Musume, they were posting these pictures of these, art animations of these skins from what I thought were the game. Apparently, it was Nikke. Nikke, another gotcha game, but something completely different. It just looked like it happened to be in the same sort of thing, and the chicks had huge tits, and it was a whole thing. So they came to let me go, these tourists. Well, look, I fully admit I'm a tourist in this space, but I am willing to correct the record. And, when you guys actually me, I don't take it personally. I just look at it as an opportunity to learn. But anyway, this game does not appear to be a Gunner game in any way, shape, matter, or form, to the dismay and displeasure of Vosh. Vosh is tearing out what's left of his hair because it's not a Gunner game. For those who don't know who Vosh is, he was a fairly prominent leftist political streamer who got caught with a shocking folder that had to do with horses and anime girls and lolly, all in the same sort of images. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, the reason why we're going to be talking about Uma Musume is we're going to be talking about Haru Urara, the underdog of Uma Musume. There's a video that has gone relatively viral, and it's this person talking about the history of this horse that lost every race, and I think the record was like 0 and 113. Well, this is one of the most endearing things I've seen in a long time in the gaming space, but gamers love a challenge. They are absolutely going wild trying to make this character win. And it is one of the most wholesome things I've seen in gaming in a long time. The fact that you have this wholesome moment being brought to you by an Eastern game company that made a game that on the surface is really silly, but has so much quality and depth, it's shocking to me. And now this is something that people are talking about and actually have invested themselves in. They learned the lore of this horse that never gave up. The horse that never gave up. And now there is a drive, a commitment, a will that has been born of this, that people want to see this character win. No matter how much time or effort that they have to put into it, they want this character to win. It is hilarious and endearing all at the same time, and all of it is from this game. This game that doesn't hold your hand and seek to tell you what you should believe politically, or try to lambast you for having the wrong opinions. The horses aren't fat and in wheelchairs and disabled and retarded looking. Liberals, you have completely ruined everything that you have touched, to the point now where this is peak gaming content that engages with the imagination of gamers and gets them in the mood to play the game. I am shocked. I am. That this is the space of gaming these days. That this game, this anime waifu, and I know that triggers some of you weaves. You've let me know. You've sent me emails. I'm so tired of people using the word waifu. Waifu. Your horse waifu game, your gacha game. That this is like game of the year contender peak content. And I say game of the year because of how it captured the imagination of gamers. And the fact that everyone's playing this, everyone loves this, they're invested in it. It's pretty nuts.
It's a game about drive, determination, and the ability to not quit even after you've failed countless times. Training your favorite Uma is no easy feat, and the pursuit to rank higher and higher is a never-ending cycle of risk and reward. I've dropped way too many hours into this game at this point, and still find myself determined each and every time I run to hit a goal that I have set in mind. Even when I'm doing something monotonous like farming for good parent stats, I still try to make a run as smooth as I can. While racing other Umas that I had obtained, there was one that stood out to me in particular, and no, it's not Bakshin. She is a speed bot and literally easy as hell to train. I'm talking about Haru Urara, the bright-eyed, pint-sized Uma with a heart of gold and a dream. In the anime, she's a friend of our main protagonist, Special Week, and a determined Uma despite her bubbly exterior. Actually, speaking of which, I've been playing Uma religiously, but normally games draw me in with their story-based content. Surely a game about racing horse girls can't have that much lore, right? That's initially what I thought. But oh boy, was I wrong about that. Each and every Uma are based on real Japanese racehorses. Even the rights to the names of these horses paired with their respective characters had to be obtained from their rightful owners. Haru Urara is a racehorse that is still alive today, and his story is one clearly reflected in our game. Haru Urara, the actual racehorse, debuted on November 17, 1998 at the Kochi racetrack. Like all debuts, this one was also met with anticipation for the horse's performance. In this race, Urara would place 5th and dead last, a display of potential only to be brought down with an unrelenting loss. For most, this would be seen as a comeback story, one where Urara rises to the top, like they do in our game. But unfortunately, this would not be the case. Over the next 6 years, from 1998 to 2004, Haru Urara would suffer a total of 113 losses on the racetrack, a total record of 0-113. So, you may be asking yourself, why isn't Uma named after a horse with such a terrible track record even in this game? Well, the answer to that actually lies in the training and races that you conduct with Urara in-game. When training any Uma, you're tasked with completing certain objectives in order to progress further. Some are placing in races, or sometimes even taking first place. Others are more simple tasks, like accumulating fans from placement or wins in races. For Urara, her final race before the Ura finale is the Arima Kinen. However, unlike the other Umas, there's no requirement for placement whatsoever. In the game, you will more than likely place dead last in the race, ending 16th. Urara is a dirt racer who specializes as a front runner in both sprint and mile-long races, but this is a long-distance race on a turf track rather than a dirt one. Oh yeah, that's one more thing. For whatever ungodly reason, if you set her as a frontrunner, she just wins. I don't know why this is, but it's a little Easter egg in the game, I guess. This crushing defeat for Urara is devastating to her in the game, but in the end, she's happy to even have participated. So I'm sure it comes as a shock when the next turn.
Do you see what I mean? Like, we learned about history. The history of this horse. We learned about its history, its track record. And that has captured the imagination and the fighting spirit of so many gamers that they are taking it upon themselves to have her win. This character that is designed to be one that is dead last. Somebody that had a win-loss record of 0 wins and 113 losses. People looked at that and said, no, I will not stand for this. And they're putting a whole bunch of time and effort into having this character win. How endearing is that? It just goes to show you the gaming community loves a challenge, but they also love a situation like this where, you know, they can be the first to have this character win and have it, you know, have a fairy tale ending. It's very interesting, very funny. And I wanted to talk about this because it's just so fascinating to me. I've heard over and over and over about how difficult the gaming industry is, how tough it is these days, how you can't really make a good game unless you have millions and millions and millions and millions and hundreds of millions of dollars. That, you know, gamers are racist and fickle, and, you know, gamers won't like this and won't like this. It's incredible when you actually come out with something that has some substance, some quality to it, when it's created by people that aren't fat, atheistic, lesbianic, degenerate leftist retards, when it's created by people that actually know and care about their audience and the subject matter, when it's actually something that has a premise that people can get around, something unique, something interesting, gamers gravitate towards it. No matter what it is. Something as silly as a horse waifu game, people love it. And you put in these little Easter eggs about this horse that never won, and gamers are like, I will do everything that I can to make sure that this horse wins. It's crazy. But it's a good kind of crazy. And it goes to show you that these freaks in the West, these communists, these left-wing liberal pieces of garbage, they have been the problem the entire time. It has not been gamers. It's not been the gaming industry. It has been these people making these terrible decisions over and over and not taking any sort of accountability.
Results in you entering the Urara finale series. In-game, she's able to participate not because of placement, but because of her devout following and overall popularity. This is a direct reflection of real-life events once again. Although Urara never took home a victory on the track, this racehorse had one of the largest fan bases of their era. Remember the Kochi racetrack I mentioned earlier, the one where Urara initially debuted? Well, this underdog attracted a surge of visitors to the track unlike anything people had witnessed before. 3,000 people gathered outside the racetrack for Urara's final race in 2004. It was such an overwhelming amount that the people who ran the track had to open it early to allow people in. In addition, a total of 13,000 spectators also flocked to see Urara's final race in person. Fans not only loved this racehorse, but they believed in Urara's abilities firmly. A total sum of 121 million yen was used to bet in the favor of Urara winning. This wasn't anything new either. Fans of Urara would always gather and bet on him winning with a small chance that a miracle could happen. A tale of an underdog who never gave up fighting, despite all odds being stacked against them. The embodiment of this endless persistence and dedication to perseverance is personified in a bubbly, energetic Uma, who loves racing and gives every competition her all. I was already invested in Urara just by this little Easter egg, but reading more into the history of what inspired her only made me more dedicated to win. I swear to you, there is a fucking way to win the Arima Kinen, and I will make a goddamn video on it when I'm able to beat it. This little bean deserves the absolute world, and I hope this video encourages all of you to race her too. If I find any more interesting topics like this in Uma Musume, I'll definitely make a small video about it in the future. If you have any Umas that you'd like me to cover, be sure to let me know. I'd love to hear who your favorite Uma is, or which Uma has a rich history that I can dive into in the future. For now, it's back to the stables for me. I gotta keep grinding for good parent stats on a Guri Cap too, so wish me luck on that one. Thank you all for joining me, trainers.
What an interesting video. What an interesting game. What an interesting time for the gaming community. This is peak gaming content. This is what gamers want to play. This is what has invested them. And I'm laughing not to make fun of this game. Really not. Usually I would make a joke like, really, this is the game. But I'm impressed. I'm impressed by the quality of this game in combination with the fact that such a ridiculous premise of a game can be this successful, and it absolutely shuts up and puts to shame all of the freaks in the Western market that have invested so much time, effort, and money, effort in quotations, so much time and money making these pieces of pig slop. You compare something like this to Dragon Age the Veilguard, where the game is about lecturing you because you didn't use the right pronouns to describe this freak character that nobody likes, that was devised by a trans person and a bunch of other mentally ill retards at BioWare. They wanted to make it all about themselves and all about their pronouns and all about doing a barv. And the reason I bring it up is because the mentality and the attitude between an East and West game, it is so transparent. The Eastern games, well, I'm not saying everyone is perfect. They are willing to be innovative, creative. They're willing to take risks. They're willing to do things that they know that their audience actually will like. They're willing to do things in order to make money that aren't the most egregious things imaginable. Now, of course, gacha games are gacha games. But we've had worse in the States. Not only releasing some of the most subpar games imaginable, but loot boxes, microtransactions, abandoning the game at the first sight of trouble. Basically just taking your money and running. I look at a game like this, and it's leagues above what's coming out from Western game devs. And they have the goal and the audacity to try to expect that we pay more money for their slop. Unreal. This is a free-to-play game, ladies and gentlemen, which means it's going to end up costing you more in the long run, but it's a game that in the end is more enjoyable. You can tell that people are having a great time. They love investing themselves in the lore and the real-world history. And the character of Haru Urara lives on as gamers make it their life's mission to make sure that this special character gets first place. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I hope that you enjoyed this video. I don't know how many more videos I will do on Uma Musume. We'll see if it continues with its popularity over the long haul. But yeah, this game has impressed me. It's impressed me by the fighting spirit of the gaming community to take on the challenge of Haru Urara. And it's impressed me that the game is as quality as it is. Even things that I usually would find cringe, like the concert scenes, are well done. And to all the weebs who were angry at my last video, understand I am a tourist here, but I'm more than happy to correct the record, so you don't have to spurg out in the comments. I just happen to be seeing a thing about Nikkei. It was Nikkei. When I was talking about the Gunnar game element, it was Nikkei that I was talking about. And even Nikkei, it is, for me, I have no criticism of Nikkei. Because it's giving the audience what they want. It is doing the exact opposite of what Western game devs are doing. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, thanks for watching. And to all you Western game devs, put the fries in the bag. Have a great day. See you next time.